Today, we're going to talk about something that's, well, a quiet but really powerful idea for anyone who makes things. It's this concept of getting a second pair of eyes on your work, and we're going to see how it's done in the world of software.
So, let's start with a feeling I think we all know. You ever finish a big project, maybe it's a huge essay or a coding assignment you've been working on for weeks, and you just get that little nagging feeling in the back of your head, like, did I miss something obvious?
It's that moment where you just wish someone could give it a quick once over. Well, in the software world, that second pair of eyes actually has a name. It's called a review. So, what is it exactly? Well, a software review is really just a process where people get together to look at a piece of work, could be code, could be a design plan, and their whole goal is to find and fix any little errors as early as they possibly can. And the whole idea, the philosophy behind it, is built on this one simple, timeless truth. To err is human. It's a basic fact. We all make mistakes. And you know what? That is perfectly okay. The whole point isn't to be perfect right out of the gate. It's just to get a little better along the way. So why is it so important to catch these little human errors? Well, it turns out that little mistakes, they have a funny way of growing into big problems. And here's the key thing to understand. An error that you find late in a project is so much harder and way more expensive to fix than one that you catch right at the very beginning. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine you make just one tiny error way back in the planning stage of a project. Now, as that project moves forward, that one little mistake starts to multiply. It can easily turn into 10 different errors by the time you get to the design and coding parts. It's kind of like building a house, right? If you make a small mistake in the foundation, it's going to cause problems for every single floor you build on top of it. And software is exactly the same. Just think about it for a second. Even a tiny typo in a spreadsheet formula can mess up the entire final number. It's that same idea at work here. Okay, so we get it. Reviews are a big deal. But what do they actually look like in practice? Well, they can be anything from a super casual chat to something much more structured, like going through a checklist. So on one side, you've got your informal review. This is basically just leaning over to a friend or a classmate and saying, hey, can you look at this? Does this make sense to you? It's quick, there's no prep. Then, on the other end of the spectrum, you have a formal review. This is a planned meeting. Everyone does their homework beforehand. It's a lot more structured, and it's designed to find those sneaky, complex errors that a quick glance would definitely miss. And these formal reviews, they often use a checklist to make sure they're looking for specific kinds of common mistakes. Things like data faults, maybe using the wrong variable name, or control faults, like a piece of logic in a loop that's just not quite right. They're also on the lookout for problems with inputs and outputs, and just making sure that everyone's sticking to the project's standards. Both types are super valuable. A quick chat is perfect for a sanity check, but a planned meeting lets you do a much, much deeper dive. Now, I know you might be thinking, this all sounds a little intimidating. I mean, having other people examine your work can feel pretty scary. And that brings us to maybe the most important rule of any review. It is always about the work, not the person. The golden rule, the one thing you have to remember, is this. Review the product, not the producer. This is absolutely key to making reviews something that helps people instead of something that hurts. So what does that actually mean? It means the focus is always on improving the work. It is not a test. It's not about grading someone's performance. All the comments are meant to be constructive, not personal. It's really just a team effort to build something better together. The goal is never to find fault in a person. It's to find opportunities for improvement in the work itself. So when you put all of this together, you start to see that learning how to be a part of a good review, it's kind of like developing your own quiet superpower. And just how powerful is it? Well, how about this number? 60%. Yeah, studies have shown over and over that simple peer reviews can catch up to 60% of all the defects in a project before anyone even starts the formal testing. That is a huge, huge impact. But finding errors? That's really just the beginning. Reviews also save an incredible amount of time later on. They're a fantastic way to learn new tricks and techniques from your teammates. They create this shared understanding of the project, which is great for continuity. And honestly, they just make the whole thing feel less chaotic and way more manageable. When you really boil it all down, it's just a simple, powerful way to build better things together. So, as we wrap up, here's just a quiet thought to take with you. What's one small thing that you're working on right now that could maybe benefit from a second pair of eyes? It doesn't have to be some big, formal thing, just a simple moment of collaboration.